Hello, happy Sunday. I hope you've had a great weekend. If you're watching live or after the fact, drop me a note. Let me know where you're watching from. I am talking today in honor of International Women's Day and wanted to take this opportunity to talk a little bit about some mentors and role models that I had in my life. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Linda Guild. I'm the CEO and founder of the Elephant Circle Management, and I'm also the CEO of an association management company called the Guild Associates. And for my day to day, I was actually mentored by my dad, but um, my mom was a huge influence in my life, and I'd like to take a few moments and honor her. She was really a woman that was ahead of her time. She and my dad had very different styles. She was very much more right brained, very creative, and really was able to bring a different perspective to everything. For me, as in particular, because I can be very methodical and analytical, and she would often help me to see things in a different light. She was a woman that went to college for business in back in the 50s, and then started her career on in New York City. She worked for a large advertising agency on campaigns such as Dove. Had a lot, she talked about having a lot of fun there. And before she moved up to Boston, where she became the first woman sales rep for a hotel in the city of Boston. And this was in the 60s. And as she tells the story, she was hired. They kept the man on for 3 months, and then she proved that she could do the job. So he was let go. And it was in this setting that she met my dad. She paid a sales call on him. And we joke that she could sell you what you were wearing. She was really great at getting to know what someone needed. So, you know, sales can have a dirty word, but she really got to know her customers. So, initially she was a hotel salesperson, or salesman, as she would call it. When I was growing up, she sold office supplies and furniture. She was a top person in her company, number one, most of the time. And she did ergonomics before it went big. Again, this person that was very ahead of her time. And at the end of her career, she decided to she was very spiritual and decided to become an author. I have a number of her books sitting here. This is one of them, which honestly, I think back in the 90s when she wrote this particular book, it wasn't what you see as mainstream as now. And I think the world started to catch up to her a little bit at the end of her life. But what, so many people my age or the generation after would be told by their parents, go for it, you can do anything. But she actually was that role model. She took chances. She, by writing the book, by doing ergonomics, by moving to Boston, and selling hotel space and doing something that, at the time women weren't doing, it's really inspirational to think about someone that, I don't know that she was fearless, but took action. And so often that's what we hear that will make us more successful, is that you need to take action, that you need to do the thing and believe. And I got to witness that. For me, she also, challenged me to think about things differently, put things into a different perspective. And I'm pretty blessed for that. and throughout my career, there are other people that I've been fortunate to meet and have had impacts as well. But I most definitely feel like my mom is number one in it, simply because she did it. Like she figured out how to make things work for her. So when she was um selling office supplies and furniture, she's not a detail person. Detail for her is um you know she kind of would write it down. She had a phenomenal memory, could remember names and faces from people from 30 years prior, different settings. She could remember any of the order numbers, all of that. But she knew she needed assistance on the details and she didn't like it. So she went and hired someone on herself. She didn't go through the company. She hired an assistant to it. Throughout her later years, she brought people into, the kids in the neighborhood became her helpers. But more than that, her business was Wake Up Your Magic, and you can find her on Instagram. I should know if she has a YouTube channel or had a YouTube channel. But she had a couple of the kids that would videotape her and help her become structured and learn all of that. She was someone that didn't hesitate to ask for help. And it's something that so many of us, including myself, I need to learn from that. So just wanted to do something a little different today and do a shout out to my mom. Her name's Susan Guild. I will link her books in the chat. But a pretty great person to have known and to have been my role model. I'd love to hear who has been your role model, what you've learned from them, both good and bad. Like sometimes the people that are in your life, there's sometimes you watch them and you say, I love how they do this. And I learned how to do this. So love to hear what you think and who has influenced you, and hope that you have a great week. Thank you.